Alright guys, so in this video we're checking out the Foxeer micro lollipop antenna. Had these for a while here, and I have it on the Diatone Whoop, and all the flight footage you can see is from my video that I made maybe a week or two I put out at the Ferris wheel at the Irvine Spectrum Mall. And I also have it on this Beta 85X GoPro Lite. I've been testing it on that one as well. Results have been pretty good. I mean, it is an analog antenna, and I think your results are going to vary depending upon how good the particular sample you have, and I will explain that with the antenna meter here. It does come in different connector types. So this is the micro FL connector, and it's about 2 inches long for that. It comes in an SMA connector type, and this MMCX connector type, right angled. I don't know if it's going to come in the straight or not. All of these are all right hand circular polarized, and on the inside here all of them are PCB antennas. They're not your traditional antennas. These small ones here are traditionally PCB antennas, and so you're going to get some variability in manufacturing. Pretty sure they don't actually test every single one of these that come out of the factory, so they keep costs down. And if you guys are familiar with the Emax Nano antenna, it's also a PCB antenna, circular polarized. It has also some inconsistencies. I think people are pretty much well aware of that out in the FPV community. Alright, so let's show the antenna's weigh. The micro FL is about 1.7 grams. The SMA version is heaviest at 5.3, and then the MMCX version is 3 grams. And for comparison, this is the Emax Nano with the SMA. It is 3.9 grams. And this is the Foxeer Lollipop 1, 7.4 grams with the SMA connector. And we have here a Rush Cherry antenna with a right angled SMA connector, and this one is 9.3 grams. Okay, so I got the SMA version connected here to this LRC antenna SWR meter. You've seen this video before. I'll link it in the description if you guys want to know what this is. It just tests the antenna's SWR rating, and I will just put it into scan mode here, and it'll give us an idea of where the best channel will be for this particular antenna. So it does a range from 5645 to 5945 frequencies, and you see that the lowest SWR is down here at 5645 at the low end of the band, and it's near 1, which is ideal. And then at the high end of the band of 5945, this particular antenna is above 2, which is not that great. So that's this antenna. So I'm going to take that one off. I'm going to put the other one on here. So they came in 2 in a box. I think they're 2 for 20. That's pretty standard. I'll put this one on here, and you'll see we'll get some different results. I'll hit scan, and you can see here that it's higher here on the low end of the band, higher than 1. It's like about 1.5, but lower at the high end of the band, about 1.5. So this is more consistent across the band. It's the same antenna, obviously, but the results are going to vary because the antennas are different. So it also depends on when you test these, what frequency you're testing them on. So let me just show you. Here's the this is the Emax Nano, and I've explained this before in previous antenna reviews. That's why your results will vary depending upon the antenna you use on the test, both in the transmitter and the receiver. You can see this antenna is pretty crappy. On the low end of the band, it's at SWR 2, and then it just goes way up here. This antenna is pretty useless. And then this is the Rush Cherry antenna. This is a pretty popular one. Okay, so let's try scanning on this one. And you can see the results are about 1.4, 1.5 on the low end of the band, and drops off. And at the high end of the band, this antenna is actually better. It's like closer to 1. So That's why having kind of something like a meter like this will give you an idea of what is the best frequency to use in a particular antenna on. So when you see a lot of reviews out there on antennas, you got to kind of know that they're, what frequency they're using it on and what frequencies they tend to be good on. But see, I'm finding that especially with any kind of mass manufactured antenna, you're going to get different results. And sometimes if you just happen to get a dud antenna, or like for example this Emax Nano, this particular one's no good. There's other ones I've gotten that are good, that are below 2 all across the board, but this particular one is no good. And you can tell that even with 2 of these, you get slightly different results, as I showed earlier. Okay, so with all that background being laid out, I just wanted to make sure you guys understood what these antennas were capable of and what you might what sort of results you might expect. So I'm just going to show you the footage I got from this particular antenna on that particular day at a mall, which is a fairly challenging environment. A lot of multipath interference because it's concrete buildings, that kind of stuff, metal all over the place. I'll give you an idea of how this antenna would perform in that particular situation. So your particular situation might be different, and your results will be different. And also, I'm not using rapid fire here. It's just my SkyZone Sky 030 goggles with the standard receiver, built-in receiver. So this is sort of like not the best of the best in terms of equipment. I think the video transmitter in here, I replaced the TBS one died, and I think this is an HGLRC video transmitter, nothing special. And I believe I'm transmitting at 200 milliwatts in this test. So I'm just going to show you some footage and clips on what kind of video output you can expect from this antenna with the particular equipment I have in that environment, and just give you an idea what you should expect from this antenna. I generally think most of these are going to be below 2 for the SWR. If you're between 1 and 2, I think you're probably going to be okay. But if you've got a bad antenna that's going like above 2, maybe even up higher, 4 or 5 on the SWR, those are probably pretty useless. Anyway, here is the footage, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one.